issue too.
New battery?
That is a brand new battery. I mean, this mic may not actually work either, right? So, you're seeing any?
Yep, I'm getting level.
Okay. I mean, the alternate solution is just to move the camera in, so we're getting good sound out of the shotgun.
Yeah. We'll have to.
Yeah, I'm just trying to monitor now.
Is that what's happening?
Why am I not hearing it, however?
You're not hearing anything from me at all?
No, I'm not seeing any level. No,
Because when I look at the monitor in the camera, I do see level.
Oh yeah, now I'm seeing sound.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm assuming the little hash marks I'm seeing.
I need to go back to my desk to.
Right, this doesn't matter. I don't know anything about cameras, but the little hash marks in the viewfinder are not showing up there, right? So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do you want a banner behind there from the?
So we're
from the-
banding on
Do you want the banner? So they have something like CCKW branding?
I was wondering. I tried a couple of angles.
Yeah.
And it, I don't know, it looked big and red and monolithic. Can you tell me what you think?
Because isn't there a white one in the studio as well?
It just says,
It's just as annoying.
it's this logo here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And white in the background might not be the best.
Well, this chair is probably gonna have to come forward some way or another anyways,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
So.
you're right.
So then to have to move in a heck of a lot more. Oh wait, that's me. This is delayed. That's
Yeah,
why.
it's delayed. Yeah, it's delayed.
No, that doesn't work.
No. And even if,
It just says kickwatt, which is
Right.
the least appealing of all of our
yeah,
words.
yeah.
I'm
No,
just
there's
gonna look at the
Heat
like,
blasting down from this heat here. So I think just with the windows, too many other things to worry about.
We're not able to.
Yeah. Thank you for moving, Flora.
Do any of my other stuff need to be on? You know what, Gary? I think this is better. I think the white one would be better.
Okay,
Why don't we try?
let's give her a try.
I just think it might actually be at the right height for what we want, as opposed to kickwatt.
That guy's kind of dressed like,
Who?
the guy that just walked by.
Oh.
He's got a lightsaber in his pocket.
Try not to sit in that chair, Joe, please. It takes a while to catch up.
Our street level studio's coming together, Gary. We got lights,
Chuck,
got some radio. I'm pumped, Gary. I'm
Yeah.
pumped.
Yeah,
How do you zoom out? Here we
oh,
go.
no, zoom out.
So I'm just thinking, that's not bad, but take a look. So that's option 1.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Here's option 2. I think option 1 might be better.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not done yet.
Although,
No, option 1's better.
yeah.
The block. The other one is too
Block the
blocky.
crooked parking sign.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll need to, I'll tell you, you'll need to come more towards you a little bit. There, okay, stop. The delay doesn't help here.
No, it doesn't.
So that it does, what I'm trying to do is get the front edge.
Yep, I
um,
follow you.
Yeah, that works, perfect. You're actually, you could not have placed it in a more perfect spot. That's the edge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like it's microns
Yeah.
off, so that's perfect. Good eyeball.
So,
Now, I need to figure out how to do the iris.
yeah, I was gonna say, he's very dark.
Yes, that's the problem with the white banner and the bright background.
Yeah, I think that they were gonna be dark no matter what. Because
Yeah,
of
why
the way
should-
in the window,
Yeah,
without a secondary light.
yeah. Well,
We don't have, we have light panels.
We
don't
do. I packed everything away in here to get it out of the way at Christmas.
Is this helpful? Am I being helpful or not?
You're being,
If I'm not being
no,
helpful,
you're being
then-
extremely helpful.
Okay,
This is very, very.
okay. Because sometimes too many hands make complicated work.
It's not the devil. I mean, yeah, there's lots of wires.
Turning into my dad. I'm turning into my dad.
The lights might
I don't know now, so there's that. Just look as you're sitting like that. Oh, good.
The lights might have gone into a drawer.
Thank you, thank you.
I am not gonna fuck around.
I was telling Jackie that Sylvia Jones is going to be speaking at noon. Was a radio sales rep at DC 103 in Orangeville when I worked there in the early 90s.
Who?
Sylvia Jones, she's an MPP for I don't know what that riding that is. So that's Dufferin something. It'd be Dufferin Peel.
And is she involved in the Patrick Brown stuff?
Yeah, she and someone else are going to be speaking at noon. She worked with, she was a staffer of David, and I can't think of David's name now. Longtime MPP for the PCs. Not Tabucci.
These are stands. They're not.
No, that's annoying. I know you have something and you cannot find it. it's not the right size.
Is there like a clamp thing or a stand thing? I'm gonna get the stand that's never been open. Maybe that's.
Yeah, whatever this connector is not the right one for this. Yeah, of course. I'm going to try and figure out setting of light.
That appears to be exactly the same.
Yeah, that's exactly the same.
Technically slightly different. Well, a
So
couple
how are
of
you
the
supposed to screw the light onto that, huh?
yeah, it's exactly the same. Oh wait. Are they smart? Please tell me they're smart. Oh, Gary, I think they're smart. Yes, they're smart. So I think this is missing something.
The one that's set up?
Yeah. But I'm just gonna put this on top of this.
Sure. Yeah. That probably lights it up a little bit more.
Yeah. So we want this close, don't we?
Probably that's about as good. Yeah. Yeah. This is the zoom.
Sorry, what do I keep pressing?
I have no
don't know.
idea.
Okay, good. You can still get. This is not doing anything for you yet.
Other than making me blind.
Other than making me blind.
And there's there's a double sized one too. That might.
Yeah, I think we need the double size one because that's not doing much.
Okay.
It's not awful, but it's really not doing much at all.
I found it easy.
There's an intensity knob. Sorry. Oh, it's almost all the way up anyway. So.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I found it easier to take the whole gold thing off
Oh, okay.
and mount it.
Mm. That's what you were scared of happening? What I just did, just done?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel like today is. If there were a theme song for today, it would be that.
Went to see that P.T. Barnum movie over the holidays. It's a
What
musical.
movie? Oh,
Greatest Show.
The Greatest Showman or whatever it is?
Yeah. It's
How did
actually
you like it?
was actually quite good.
I saw this video.
It's like we've seen now 3 musicals this season. Like
Huh.
some are new, some are not. We watched La La Land again. And
I've never seen one of them.
again, it's like an old style Hollywood
Yeah.
musical.
All right, you want to close your eyes? So I can blind you? Okay, that's a big difference.
There,
fair bit
you wanna
better, but I think we need
have a seat?
another light on the, I think we need the other light on this side to cut the shadow.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Which I'm sure is why we have two.
Except, of course, we only have one of those adapters.
We do
on.
have a second light stand,
No, no, the adapter knob.
but the adapter came on the other light stand. It was in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, actually, it really got some very, like, right off the bat, one really good person, keep a baby dirty looks kind of way.
It was in that package, so I'm hopeful this one also has one.
I think maybe this was talking about cameramen, green screen,
You can just take the knob off and I'll set up this.
This guy's supposedly here, it's called Sharp.
I just hope that I didn't like skip the audio or anything.
What's the source?
Windmill, wind turbine.
Oh, yeah. The collapsy one? I've never seen a wind turbine look like that in my life. Guess
Yeah,
we're not supposed to do that.
No, I think they're not supposed to do that.
Okay, we have an adapter, so we are good. I'll put it on this guy first.
It's snowing out now. Great.
Frickin' leather girl. No, she did say there was a 30% chance. Never mind, she's not buying. She's just useless. Can't trust those women. Especially when we start to get into the science.
Okay, and so how's that looking now on the YouTube?
Look at the. That's okay. Still, you're getting shadow on the back, but I don't think that's
A
going
little
to
shade,
change
yeah, a
unless
little-
it's like.
It's not a really sharp shadow.
No, it's really not. Yeah, I think that's okay.
This gives you time even to dash over.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right. Oh, this one isn't even really.
All right, proceeding. Oh, yeah, that's fine, yeah.
In theory, I feel like this is supposed to be a light, yeah?
It can be a light, yeah. Yes, it can be a light.
I don't know if we gain anything from changing this setup to that, though.
No,
It was really about compensating this side.
yeah. We'll just save the battery here.
Okay. Well,
This is what we got.
that's the most TV I've ever done, so there you go. I did have to do TV.
Well, it's been a while since I did it.
Better than dropping the light, though.
No idea where I put my glasses.
Maybe there was the power supply.
Maybe.
Ha ha ha. Do you want me to keep her the knob covers? They don't really need to be covered. Hang out there. Okay.
Joe back to his lab.
So yeah, I found in searching for this stuff, I found 2 boxes that stuff belongs in. Which to me says that either we have 2 kits
Right.
and that none of them have ever been touched, and someday we should touch them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am actually just, for emergency, just in case, would set up one of those new kits with an iPhone to do a Skype.
Skype, just in case of scales, yeah, yeah.
Actually, so I will use that.
We'll use that.
This kit. Whereas this would be the new one, a full afternoon of the function.
We're doing some being good Samaritans, which means more work for us. But we get our banner on TV, so there's that. We're just doing it. It's how we do TV and kids back. And so we're just doing Sandy Burn. We're doing the.
There's a guess.
This was actually, I don't even think I swam. Did a good job.
Yeah.
It's Toronto, like gone down on Queen Street, there's that Health Furniture Warehouse restaurant. New trail tattoos, by the way, it's very good. Yeah, I think I'm trying to get from Dilly.
Yeah, yeah.
My boyfriend was a half sleeve and he drew it himself because he really likes art.
Yeah.
But all of the, like he measured out his forearm and
Yeah.
everything when he made the tattoo, so everything would be in perspective. And the tattoo artist like similar lines and like this.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's heartbreaking, especially if you went to all that work.
Yeah.
So I was yesterday trying to figure out, there was no level
Yeah.
in this, but I figured it out now.
Yeah.
This knob at the top
Yes.
determines how you set up the tripod. If you're setting it up as a tabletop, or
Oh.
and this has positions.
I see.
So the middle position is tripod. So that levels it out.
Yeah. But if you're on unlevel
On
ground,
unlevel
you're
ground.
moved.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not intended.
Not like a professional
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It has a little ball. But
Yeah. That's such not a difficult thing to add.
Yeah.
Like
Really, what would that cost?
nothing. 2 cents,
Yeah.
quite literally.
Yeah.
Weird. Anything else you need?
I think not.
Okay. I have assigned Peggy to something that CTV will have if you don't jump on it immediately, which is what I was talking
Oh,
about
yeah?
earlier. Family versus University of Waterloo's robotics program, super sick kid robotics program, said they would modify his Power Wheels thingy
Oh, yeah?
so that he could run it. That was 2 years ago. And now they said, too bad, we're not gonna replace anything, or you can't get your Hot Wheels back. So anyways, CTV was tagged in the post, so if we didn't get on it, then we were never gonna get it. So we don't know if we'll have it, but that's what she's working on. One thing I didn't say when we were going out to get your trigger date is you did get background sound.
Like down there, I was totally talking about school,
Okay.
just stand up there.
Let him run.
waiting.
heard that in your headphones. They're.
We've got a chair for you right there.
Are we doing camera?
Do you need a glass of water? Do you want to go to the washroom? Do you hang up your coat or leave your coat on the chair?
I'll throw the coat on the chair. How's the hair?
It's looking fine. Actually, there's a washroom right at the back. If you want to.
Well, if my hair looks fine, that's okay. Because they were talking about doing Skype. I was going,
That's our backup plan.
that's the backup plan.
Yeah.
Oh, I challenged them when I said the competition could do remote interviews on camera.
Well, we have the equipment. It's just that the person who knew how to do it is gone. They left.
No, oh,
So,
okay.
and I'm not hiring until about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we're in between there. And also, we don't do any television on CBC out of Kiitchener,
Right, yes.
unlike CTV. But then CTV doesn't do any
That
radio.
wasn't a competition.
Oh, who's
It was
the-
Global Ottawa.
Oh,
Interviewing some people in a farmer's field.
oh, again, a TV station.
Yes.
So they got the one up on us there. I'm just going to.
Well, Global didn't have a local spot to work from, so.
Oh, of course not. Yeah. So you will actually be the first one we've ever done.
Oh, boy. Now, if you could just get me receiving your radio station in Russellville, I'd be happy.
Dale is here in Kiitchener. Hey, it's Gary here. So, your guest has arrived. You see my email on the YouTube screen? That, okay. I'm worried about the file size of an MP4, transferring it. Would be the same as if you were doing Skype in the tutorial, except instead of Skype, you dial up YouTube on the browser. It's actually live on YouTube. Exactly same workflow as if you were doing Skype. goes from that computer into Media Central?
The other thing I do is I tend to bounce back and forth with tracks.
Well, let me say this down. This is the first ever one we've done out of Kitchener, this year. So we're trying to be on that. So, is there nobody there who knows how to report on YouTube? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, go ahead then.
You can also move the curve. This is in the right here. Do you know how long the shooting for?
Yeah, it is live. Yeah, and YouTube, I see what you're saying, YouTube archives. is one of the- But it's live now, and you could record it now. So what do you do normally to download from YouTube to Media Central?
No, you're right. Yeah.
So I don't know how long it should be. No cards, like 2.5.
Two little bit of
Right.
can be from one. Can't count anymore.
Right.
One bit of device
Right.
is
So you should be able to actually do that now live as well.
try to avoid having your voice ask the
Yep.
same question over and over and over again. You ask a question and then you have to answer it, right? And then like another question.
I'm just going to frame up the shot a little better here. Yes, it will. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I already kind of like, once I started getting some of them, like, every time I ask a question, I try to make it better than the last one, because I really like it. Stick with that. The one that might have come to the
He would hear you with the phone. You should be able to hear him on here.
Test, test, test.
What number should I be calling you for?
Yeah, no, that's great. I would stay avoid the one.
Okay, I'm going to call you from a different phone.
Yeah, by the time you hear it tomorrow. If you don't. Maybe no, he was hiding. I'm like, I'm also like, so yeah,
Hello, Dale. It's Gary here. I'm just going to connect you up. Now, once, of course, I connect you with him, you won't be talking to me. So we need to make sure these are some disposable.
Whoops.
So, yes. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the stream. So, so it is a new URL. So I need to give this to you. The URL of our channel. So you'll find the second. You'll find the second one
I bumped the camera just to
there. Oh,
make
did you?
Plead guilty, sorry. Is this approved?
Yeah, that's not here. Yeah. I won't give you over to him until we're set to go.
once you're done,
Well, I guess I will get rid of my cell phone. Because I'm going to get another one. You probably want these.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yes, it's only like. Yeah. This is the only way to get it to you in HD. All right, so I'm now going to give the phone over to your guest, and you can converse. So you'll be talking on the phone, but the video will be delayed as if it was like sat, except longer. So. Yeah. Yeah. But your conversation on the phone will be in real time. Okay, so I'm just going to hook up the phone to you now, and there you go. You should be in real time to Dale Molnar in Windsor.
Hello? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I will try and remember to do that.
We'll just ask him how the framing is. Is the framing okay?
Is the framing okay? Okay, framing's fine.
Okay.
He just wants me looking off camera.
Okay. Well, we've got, I don't know if you can see the two people over there.
Well, I don't think you want me that far off camera. I would say probably more to where your logos are on the
On the
window.
windows, okay.
That's more where you want me be, wouldn't it be, Dale? This way, not this way. Like I'm talking to you beside the camera, correct?
As if I were.
Well, I'm talking about how you want me framed. I mean, where they were. Yes, you are talking to me. I'm sorry, you are talking to Warren. Just slight, like about like this. Does that work? Okay, I have an object pic that I'm looking at. Okay. I'm ready to go. It's Warren Howard. It's WarrenHoward, and I'm on the executive of Wind Concerns Ontario. Yeah, an executive board member of Wind Concerns Ontario. Wind Concerns is a coalition of community groups from across the province of people who are concerned about the impact of wind turbines on their community. And we're sort of a coordinating body that provides technical help and shares information. Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of concerns in a number of areas, but specifically with these wind turbines that came down, I mean, this is not an isolated incident. It does happen more than once, and it's across the world. You see regular reports of these things. Something going wrong. And I mean, the bottom line is that the regulations in Ontario, in terms of the separation from non-involved lands like other property owners and roads, is not sufficient to protect people from these types of situations. I think the one in Chatham-Kent's about just over 100 meters from the road. I mean, if the turbine actually fell, it would have hit the road. There's an example in South Kent where they approved a turbine that looms over a greenhouse operation, and that didn't really matter because it's not a residential location, so there was no separation. So we got people working in the greenhouses that if something happens to the turbine are exposed to falling pieces from turbine blades. I'd be pure speculation. I mean, things point to that the blade somehow hit the tower So maybe the tower started to lean, because when you look at the pictures of it, the blades are wrapped around the tower. So at some point, the blades hit the tower, which is actually quite a scary thing, because those blades are 50 meters long. So I mean, it could be. I mean, like these things have been up and operating since 2010, so it could be, as these towers get older, fatigue problems could have been a problem with the original construction. Which the original construction's not very well supervised. Normally, you would have, when you're building a building, you would have the municipality closely involved in supervising that construction. But the Green Energy Act took away municipal powers and never replaced the supervisory role with anybody from the province. It's just whatever happens, happens. I mean, these turbines are getting old. I don't think there's any monitoring process, as in, looking for potential weaknesses in the turbine structure, 8 years later after they were erected. So we really need to have a full investigation of this situation, and the results of that investigation need to be public. It's not a quiet conversation among the wind industry or the wind industry and the Ministry of the Environment and Climate Change. It's got to be public. Like, there's a lot of people concerned about these things given the limited separation, because the rules are right now, I think it's blade length plus 10 meters, so about 60 meters from property lines or roads, and that's not enough protection for any accidents or even ice throw in the winter. There's places in around Kincardine, the Enbridge project posts signs, be cautious during icing conditions because your car could get hit by flying ice. I don't know how you anticipate that happening, but those are the instructions. They actually have signs up. There was one in the Bruce Peninsula that started leaning very badly, and so they turned it off and attached wires and bulldozers to it, and I think managed to straighten it, which is not the type of solution I would like. So I mean, there's other ones, I think, down in it's where they build them. The foundations are always a problem, but the ones that they're building in Otter Creek right now, or in North Kent, but the hot one is Otter Creek. It's mucky soil, and so how do you get a 500-meter tall structure with all the weight at that top stabilized so it doesn't fall over? I mean, it's a huge engineering issue, and that's where they get into the well water, because they're down there, the North Kent, they're contaminating wells. The last count I heard, there was 16 wells that were being affected when they started drilling down to the bedrock to anchor the towers. That's the evidence we have. I mean, there's been about 4,500 complaints about noise registered with them since the turbines started operating in about 2006. And the most recent ones, they're just not even bothering to follow up anymore. They are just completely, the Ministry of the Environment and Climate Change, just missing in action. They're not responding to the well water issue in Chatham, Kent. And so, yes, they're not monitoring what's going on either during the construction phase or, after they're up and operating, both of which I think are huge gaps. And I guess the Ministry of Labor is now involved in this one because it is a workplace. People are up in that tower. Well, I think they need a full public investigation of what's happened, And I think they very much have to review all of the setbacks on the projects that aren't built. And then they have to, because they should be larger, there's no question about that now. And they should be also looking at a very close monitoring in terms of structural fatigue in all of the ones that are built. I mean, this is one of the older projects in Ontario, and so could be an indicator of the aging of these projects and things that we're going to have multiple times going down the road. Well, in most cases, the normal authorities for managing building are resting through the Ontario Building Code with the municipality. Those were all taken away by the Green Energy Act. So getting control back in the municipalities is, one step. Because if any municipality right now steps in and tries to do anything, they get sued by the wind company. And so they're just emasculated. I think you do need on-the-ground supervision for the construction of these projects and their operation. That is a very good description. Wild, Wild West, if you listen to or watch what's going on Amherst Island, this beautiful community with narrow roads and so on, and then there's a project being built there, and they have a road use agreement, they have agreements on how they're supposed to be done. Nothing's happening. They're just doing their own thing. Wild, Wild West, exactly what's going on. Oh, yep, I'm still here. Well, Jane Wilson sent you the press release from the group that held a press conference this morning in Wallaceburg. And they've engaged a lawyer to launch a judicial review there's actually 5 projects that aren't fully approved, saying that the ministry knows that the wind standards are not sufficient. They've changed them, but they're not enforcing it for these 5 projects. So once again, ministry's not doing its job. Beautiful downtown Kitchener, which keeps changing. It's a long time since I've been exploring downtown Kitchener. Okay? Sure. I'll pass the phone back to him.
Here. Oh, you're welcome. I was monitoring the feed. It sounds a bit roomy.
Roomy.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We have to, you'll appreciate me, so we have to use the shotgun in this case. We don't have a lab. It's you. Well, throw in a good word. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
So roomy, was it?
A little bit roomy because of glass is not really sound absorbent.
Yeah, well, there's an echo chamber back there.
Yeah. But it's lovely. Yeah.
You guys can solve most things.
Indeed.
Well, you have proper sound engineers.
We do. Just watch your step there. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Did we get your contact in case we want to do an interview at some point? Or?
Sure. Let's see what I've got here.
I'd like to give you can email at your convenience. And I think it might work.
I think I have one.
Well, I don't want to take your last.
Well, no, it's quite all right.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in the school.
Okay.
I've got involved in this because of a turbine project that I used to listen to. And got sucked into it. A major thing. It's a retirement project.
Sounds like not a small project.
Yes. Well, we say we're hoping